Nobody cared who I was until I put on the agent's hat. You were probably thinking this is the Badwolf's channel. Well, it's not today. It's the agent's Smith. What's up, fellow people out there? You fellow followers and watchers of Mr. James C. Lovett, the Bad Wolf. James C. Lovett, the agent, has arrived. All right. So what do we have today, people? Today I will be playing the part of an agent. Dun, dun, dun. Why? Because we're going to be talking about commerce. Okay? These people, whether in black, the man in, well, not black today, but the man in the black hat. You have no idea how many truths I just gave you. Nobody really cared until you wear the mask. Once you wear the mask, now everybody wants to know who you are. If, in fact, James C. Lovett is your real name. So what am I talking about when I mean you guys don't know how to do commerce? If you didn't know by now, this video is going to be about said commerce. In what? The maritime jurisdiction. Okay. So one of the things I want to tell people is when you do your filings, if you're going to do your filings for your affidavits or whatever, I'll see if your county or state or wherever you're going to file has an online system. As we move, they move. So a lot of these places, as we heard per one of our friends on the inside, who told us about them throwing away the affidavits, it should always be filed online, if at all possible. Why? Because now you've got a receipt number, you've got a digital confirmation number, and it has been accepted. All right, so how should I title this video? Maybe I'll freak everybody out. James C. Lovett is an agent in commerce. I like that. See how many hits I get on that one. I'm sure there's lots of people out there. I knew he was an agent. He's controlled opposition. He's not one of us. Well, sorry to fool you, but whoa, you know what? Let's keep it real. Is James C. Lovett an agent? Yep, you heard it right. Wolf, no. Woo! Woo! Well, remember, people, you're an agent too. Why? Because you have your name in all capitalized letters. That's the thing. Just means that maybe you're not a double agent or single. Maybe you're a single agent, or maybe you're a triple agent, quadruple agent, whatever. If you have your name in all capitalized letters, chances are that you have a social security number and a birth certificate from the state of, which is a corporation, which is under the federalized state jurisdiction. So you are, in fact, a statutory citizen. But we know that to be a corporation, all caps, capitis demutua maxima, full loss or reduction of one's rights and freedoms. So, am I an agent in that aspect? Yeah, but so are all the rest of you guys. Now, more of us than not, or well, not more so me than not, we have removed our masks and revealed from the alter ego our true persona, our given name, our celestial name, our ecclesiastic name, family name, house name, whatever you want to call it. But you're operating both. Almost nobody, none of these gurus out here included in the guru stack are actually completely 100% out. unless they've closed all their databases, turned their back on everything, got rid of the social, no longer accept Federal Reserve notes. They have a bank account that is non-interest bearing. You know, things of that nature. You got to get rid of all of it if you truly want to be out. If not, then you're an operator of said corporation, said agent, Mr. Agent Man. So let's get back to it. In all seriousness, with a little bit of fun, a little dash of wild and zany. First of all, you have to realize that everything that you're already in is considered maritime jurisdiction. So you need to look up maritime jurisdiction. The short version of it is that you are operating on water in somebody else's jurisdiction. Now, water jurisdiction means that there are some areas where it is neutral, or you can still be recognized as being in the water, but not under their jurisdiction. So the part of maritime jurisdiction that you're operating under, which is also admiralty, which is more so the war part of it, to which, of course, we have a treaty with the United States. So appreciate you guys there. And remember, all this information is education and entertainment. So sit back, relax, and enjoy your turn. So we're in maritime, which is on the water. The living man, who usually autographs things in red, red represents the red of the living man, ruddy in complexion, ruddy in nature, from the soil also being ruddy. So that's your jurisdiction. You're a bipedal entity, at least your physical vessel is capable of some stints in the water, which is maritime. Now, if you're in the water, you can only tread for so long until you go underwater, which means you stand under. You're standing under the water. Your floating body, your vessel is upside down, it's capsized. Or you're on a boat in somebody else's boat, or you're approved to be one of their vessels or boats on the water. Now, understanding these symbologies is a fact of the law of maritime. A lot of people think, oh, you're just putting things together. It just means water, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, then why when you're born, do they represent your mother giving birth to you as a vessel launching a ship into a harbor, into the dock, which is why you see a doctor. The DOC stands for Declaration of Conformity. You get a docket number in the form of a birth certificate. A certificate of something means it's not, or a title of something means it's not the true title. It's not the true certificate, not the master document. You know how you know? Because you didn't make it. To have the master document is for you to make it. Only the master can make the document. So we're already in, since children, agents of the corporation. And we're in what's known as maritime jurisdiction. But you don't know how to do commerce. Everybody has a problem. So the reason why they have problems with you is because you have been given the status of a ward of your location. You're a ward, your ship is in dry dock in whatever zip code you're using. You've been given a vessel that you don't know how to operate. Now, really, it's their fault, but by their own rules, he who has the gold makes the rules. They do not have to tell you how to operate your ship, but when you mess up the ship, which makes them more money, or the things that you're doing, or you do business improperly, they benefit, and you pay. And if you can't pay, then they'll go into your trust, such the KV trust, and pull out the money, the credit. You get paid, sometimes twice, or whatever. Just education. Just some thoughts from your secret agent man. Now, more inside secrets from the agent. I mean, they're not really inside secrets. You can really just look most of this stuff up. I mean, heck, Judge Dale's file talks about a lot of this, and some of the stuff we just picked up along the way. And some of it just makes common sense. So now that you've looked up and learned a little bit about Admiralty jurisdiction, and you've gone to blacksite32.com, and you've gone to the free files and downloaded some of the free goodies there, files. The reason why they've got problems with you is because you're a moneymaker. Everything in their maritime jurisdiction, if you look up the Cesta KV Trust Act of 1666, tells you you are considered to be lost at sea. Because they're at war with you. They're at war and ready to do business. So you're lost somewhere in between. They don't know if you're a belligerent or a combatant. Sure glad I'm not. Got my agent hat on. So you're underwater, you're a vessel, you're taking on water. You know, these are all the symbolism that they use. You know, where the water meets the land is where the ship drops off. The products, currency, water. Waters have current. You're trading in currency. See? Current going through your house. Electricity is what? Current. Electricity. Current measured in current. Ohms, volts, amps. Where the water meets the land is called a bank. You do business with your currency at a bank. A lot of federal buildings, a lot of courthouses, all resemble ships in dry dock. Magistrate can do whatever they want to do because they're the ship captain, even if it is in dry dock. They've got a certain amount of their own freedom, if you will. Like Jean-Luc Picard on Star Trek, The Next Generation. You got a little bit of leeway. So you can kind of make things happen as you see fit. So they don't have to go by case law because you are considered to be in their jurisdiction. So more problems they have with you. You're trying to claim your freedoms, but you are supposed to take your freedoms. You're supposed to operate that whole other side. You don't know how to do it the proper way. Now, we've discussed a vast number of ways that you can do them on the channel. Now, this does not mean you have to do everything listed here or on somebody else's website or anything like that. What it does mean is that if you choose to use them, and this is just education in my experiences, then you can do so. But you don't have to message me and say, oh, I did everything you've done. I watched all your videos, because I guarantee you probably haven't watched all of them. There's about 900 of them now. If you've watched all of them, then my hat goes off to you. But most likely you haven't. You've only seen the ones that have been listed there in the top 100. And those are the ones that only YouTube feels that you probably want to see. So if you click on the view full video list or the 800 plus video playlist, or you scroll all the way down to the bottom of the video of the channel on YouTube and you click view more videos, then you'll see more. Okay. So what else do we have? All right. So you're in maritime jurisdiction. You're in the water. Either you're under the water, you're on the water is one of them. Now, if you're on the water as one of them, then you're probably wearing a black hat and you're an agent for them. So hi, agents. I know you guys watch the videos too. Hope you learned something. You could be a judge, you could be a police officer, you could be whatever. Now, see, in their terminology, they are considered to be, he does this, it's just what it is. Trustees. Why? Because the United States is in a trust scenario. We're in a trust. So if the public agent is a trustee and a officer, public officer, they have taken an oath. Okay. That means that they, as the trustees, cannot be beneficiaries. So we, in we Americans in our private capacity are the beneficiaries. And yet we are also the sometimes referred to as grantors or executors. Why? Because forefathers and us are the creators. We can change all of these things at any point in time. But people don't know what's going on, so they don't really have to worry about that. Not enough people know. And even if all the people knew, they'd still have to know what they're trying to change and where they want to go from there. So that's probably not going to happen with any of our lifetimes. You might see one or two little things change, but not until the people know their own power and they conduct themselves in a non-belligerent, non-combatant, neutral, or treaty way, and know where they want to go. Where do you want to go? Yeah, most people don't know where they want to go. You can look up some things called Nasera and Jacera, kind of get an idea. It's good to want change, but if you don't know what you want to change to, then what change are you asking for? You just don't like what you're getting, but you don't know where you're going to go. It's like jumping over the ship before having another ship ready. Ooh, see what I did there? Use a little maritime magic on you. All right. So, you guys ready for the wolf? All right. I'll take off my hat. Will you take off yours? Now, what's up, guys? It's your boy, the Badwolf. I'm sorry about the agent. He stepped in here. He must have read my notes. You know, sometimes they do that. What's up, dude? Okay. So, once again, commerce. All right. Here's why they have more problems with you guys, okay? Is because you're trying to claim your freedoms, but you're stepping on the things that they have in place. Now, they consider you also to be a agent. Why? Because you've never told them that you weren't. You're using all agent stuff. You should be making your own stuff, your own files, your own IDs, your own everything, and removing everything that you don't want to be underneath their statutory jurisdiction out. Never should have put most of it in there in the first place, but you didn't know any better. So for you all, and you have to keep in mind that a lot of these low-level functionaries, you know, pencil pushers at the offices and whatever else, they're so used to only dealing with U.S. citizens that they consider whatever you're trying to do to be crazy, weird, wild, and different. And they're right, because it is. Because before their time was somebody else, and so on and so on and so on. And that person knew what was going on, but that has all since been lost. So if you don't have people like me and whoever else out here reading the information and bringing it to you in a very non-belligerent, non-combatant way to teach you how to do commerce the proper way, then it'll all be lost. And we will have lost everything on paper, on a paper level, non-land owning jurisdiction. All right. So knowing that, then you have to know that because they're considered foreign, there should be a foreign contract in place. So anytime you sign something, that's essentially what you're doing, is you're forming a contract that looks like it's American. Funny how if you notice on most of the contracts you sign, you don't see the word America on there. Constitution of the United States, Bill of Rights. No, nothing. Not even a little. No. Yeah, exactly. So then you have to ask yourself, what jurisdiction am I going in? Which is why a lot of people sign things with the UCC 1-308, which means I'm reserving all of my rights. I've literally heard people and officers and whoever else laugh. Oh, yeah, we know what that is. That doesn't do anything. And then the tickets get dismissed or pled no contest. Why? Now, I'm not saying that works. Well, let me say this correctly. It works, but I'm not saying you need to sign everything that way. But because there are more things to go with it, all right? Because they still need, just because you don't want to contract, let's say, with that particular item, it doesn't mean that you have still told them who and what you are, okay? Because you've signed or you've agreed, or in some places, they don't even let you sign anymore. It's already just done. So they're expecting you to be there, which means now you're in breach of contract because you didn't go there. And you're in breach of contract because of certain things that you've done, because you are considered a trustee like them. and most of you are not. But if you choose to be, there's nothing wrong with that at all. And you're doing everything right. So this information is only for those people, those natural private persons out there who are looking to either partially get out or get all the way out of the jurisdiction. But here's the thing. Are you really ever out? Because you're still going to do banking, you're still going to do this and that. You're not going to want to give up your credit cards. So you're still going to have these things, but there are ways to change some of those. And we talk about that in the numerous videos that we have on this particular platform. So once again, anything that you do, like I had one gentleman, he was like, and I use that term loosely, trying to be a little gruff at me, a little snippet, because he didn't like the fact that I told him he didn't know how to do business. And I guarantee you he really doesn't. I've been doing business since I was 9 years old. I had my first company at 16. All right. Well, I mean, it was, well, you could say company. I didn't have a corporation until I was like 19. But first, little mom pop, little thing, lemonade, whatever else, sell little, what do you call it? Garage sales and whatever else. I was an entrepreneur very young. Okay. So he was a little bothered because he had signed his child support documents. And I said, he's tried to say it was fraud. What part of it was fraud? You signed. Did anybody force you? Did it say anywhere that you have to do this? You have to do this. No, because they can't tell you you have to do this. Oh, they can say we want you to. They can say should you not, there's possibilities of this and that and whatever else. But they can't force you because slavery has been outlawed in the United States of America. And everything that anybody does anywhere has to be by contract. So he didn't like that. I didn't sign it. You did. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that's the end of the story. Okay. There could be flaws with what you signed, could be flaws in how you signed, could be things in the contract that, they didn't disclose, could be fraud in there. There's lots of things. So there are ways to take care of different deals. And as always, all of my files are just there to provide education so that you can make a decision and try to move things forward. And if you can find any imperfections in your contract or obligation or agreement, especially on their part, then that is fraud. If it's something on your part, well, technically it still could be fraud, but only if you did it intentionally with the purpose to defraud. If you have inaccurate information, no matter how small, then that is something that can void a deal or an agreement. So in order to move forward in the commerce world, first you have to, like I said, you have to know that you're in maritime jurisdiction. You can look that up. Then you have to understand that you're doing commerce with corporations. See, the law states that everything that corporations deal with corporations. Okay, there's a lot of information right there. If you know what I just said, living people can deal with living people. The dead deal with the dead. In the maritime jurisdiction, these corporations are dead entities. So dead entities, which are corporations or hollowed, empty vessels that were never alive, are doing business. That's it. And either you're incorporated or unincorporated. Okay, if you're incorporated, it means your boat, your vessel is rocking their stuff. If you're unincorporated or a private member association or anything like that, then most likely you are going to be in the water doing business with them, but you are tax exempt. You're rocking your own flag, which is why I've been telling you guys since day 2 or 3 that operating your what they call the last name or your surname as a nation, okay, as a trust or as a PMA or a 508c1a or whatever, just multiple types of private things or foreign, that means private means the same thing as foreign, which means you're not in their jurisdiction. means you're in the waters and you're doing business with them, and that's how you have to do things. Now, one of the hardest things to do is banking, because very few banks out there, especially in the United States, which is the corporation, will let you have a business-only EIN. There are some out there. Usually they're going to be the bigger guys. All right. You can find them, but you have to hunt them down. Most of them are going to want to use your social. Okay, so that they can tie in that legal fiction, that particular legal fiction, which is in their jurisdiction as one of their property pieces in there. So that if you mess up, they can go onto your ship and, raid whatever they want on there. Now, it may sound bad, but in all actuality, that's just good business. Because if you're flying underneath my banner and you're screwing up, I would do the same thing. Thanks for the gems. So it's just business. And you can't say that you wouldn't do the same thing. If someone's using your stuff, rocking your face on t-shirts and whatever else, and they're out there making money with your face and their t-shirts, or your t-shirts really, and they're selling them, you're going to want your cut, right? I know there's one person out there's like, no, I'd be cool with it. They could just run it. I don't need the money. But for the 99% of the rest of you, you're going to want to get paid. So that's it. That's what I'm saying. You guys don't understand that all this is just commerce. A lot of you guys are taking this personal because you feel like you're personally attacked. They're not personally attacking you. They can't. They're attacking your corporation that you are the surety of, you are the trustee over, because you don't have another ship to operate. That's why when people tell them, they're like, can I be a U.S. citizen and a national or a territorial citizen? Yeah, you already are. You had to be that state citizen and that national before you could be a U.S. citizen. Now, if you're born in Washington, D.C., you're a U.S. citizen and you acquired your national side, at least an American national, but you're a nationalist in D.C. I think they are now referring to themselves as U.S. nationals or Washingtonians or something, or Washingtonites, something like that. So, excuse me. So that's the whole thing, is you have to understand that it's business. They're just doing business and you don't know how to do business. So people are taking it personal. Your taxes, your everything. Driver's license, your whatever else, all these things are in your straw man name, which is their property. Your parents gave you a name. They then turned around and gave rights to that name to the state of, who turned into a federalized state employee, a taxable entity underneath their empire, underneath the empire's empire. So you just need to know how to do business the proper way. And either change some things or not be mad and understand that, oh, okay, now I understand why this is this. So to say taxing is illegal, to say taxing is fraud, it's not. Sorry, somebody's butthurt just clenched up. Their sphincter just clenched. Wolf. Yeah. The trash heap has spoken. Sorry, but it's the truth. The problem is that the IRS is a business. Now, you could argue if they're domestic or foreign and who owns them and where they're located, and they're not judicial, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, you still open a contract with them. Now, you open the contract unknowingly. Well, no, you open the contract knowingly, but you didn't know that you had options. That still yet is on you, legally. Legally, it's on you, because your parents never asked, you never asked. You assumed. We all know what making an assumption means and does. So you either need to correct that. You always have to correct it. See, everything in their jurisdiction is written in black ink, which represents the blood of the dead man who understands the boat. He stands underneath the boat. So you've written your signature, signator, sign a tor, somebody who is endowed with the ability to sign something or to put a sign in front of what? A corporation. So you have a signator. and you signed up for their membership and to be an employee and to pay these membership dues and fees. So the moment you correct said thing, which always has to happen because everything in their jurisdiction is dead, nothing will ever change. If you put this piece of paper right here, it will stay here until the paper literally dissolves into nothingness. And only then has the facts been nullified. Oh, but wait, we have it on digital now. So it's there for all immemorial, which means it'll never change. So until you update that file, period, or close the account with what? I think for that particular situation, we've got the SSA 521 withdrawal of application. You're going to find that they're still going to want their money. Their hand will always be out because the system tells them you are a ship in their maritime jurisdiction. Put the cash in my hand, little man. The only time it goes like this is from that moment forward, you file the proper paperwork. Then from there forward, it's not retroactive. Now, some people out there, educational entertainment purposes only, felt some type of way and may or may not have discovered fraudulent aspects in said contracts or agreements, and then sued them in the higher district courts for all of the money lost over X amount of time. Now, this is not something that everybody can do, nor will you be successful. But anywhere where you're paying somebody, remember, okay, the proper use of a 1099-A is that you are wanting a percentage of that credit that you have paid them back. Because if you are providing them with credit, you are the creditor. If you're making a payment, you are the creditor. If you have signed and used your Social Security, which allows them to do said things, then you have given them access to credit, your credit. So you can 1099-A anybody if you've already made payments to them. The 1099-C is the same thing essentially, but you're saying you as the creditor want to cancel the agreement. So as always, before doing anything, make sure you contact the various agencies with their files and ask them if I can use it this particular way. I don't know why people are so willing to listen to certain people. Just try anything, do this, hey, jump around, wear a bunny suit, contact these agencies, guys. That's what they're there for. Now, sure, do some of them not know the full capability of some of their own files? Yeah, we've seen that. But do you really want to take a chance on doing some process if they're like, yeah, no, that's not how it's supposed to be used, and then you use it and then you get into trouble? Yeah, you can't just listen to anybody. YouTube, your mom, your dad, your bald-headed granny, whatever it is, you have to vet the information yourself. If the information has not been vetted, then why are you using it? Unless somebody's going to show you, hey, because at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to have to stand on what you're talking about. So call them up. Hey, can I do this way? Now, even if you want to throw in like the passport process, now that we've done thousands and thousands and thousands of times over the years. So we know exactly what that particular thing is. All the kinks, all the benefits are worked out, and coming up soon, we're going to have the last piece of that. So we will be good. The last video I will make will last 1 or 2 videos will be the finalized passport version for filling it out with the updated form. And then yeah, I think that's it. Actually, that should be the last one, unless there's any minor updates. So we won't be doing the passport process. I know some of you guys will be sad. You guys don't get to watch me talk about that anymore, but we've done it. I mean, you don't need to beat a dead horse. So I think this will be the 4th main video on the passport process. So I'm sure other people have their own versions of it. And once again, no one's using any of this stuff I'm going to give out next time. But once I do, everybody will be sitting there with their popcorn, ready to scatter it out there to their channels. but that's okay, because you know what? It's, even if I'm the person who finds it and uses it and vets the information, it's all of our knowledge. And anybody, if you sit down long enough and do enough research, can find it. Haha, the man in black. Yeah. And use it. So all I ask is that you throw out some credit if you use information you find here. I do the same thing. If I find some information from somebody that's fire, and I'm like, wow, so I'll give them credit on my channel. That's all I ask. Just throw a little love. Like, people want to thieve your files and thieve your processes and whatever else, and then don't want to throw your credit out there. But at the end of the day, am I going to lose sleep over it? Nah. You guys know where to find the good stuff. So keep in mind, guys, that though I am hyper smart in many areas, I have not done every process. I'm not here to do every process, and nobody knows it all. So even I go out looking at other people's information from time to time when I'm not reading and learning, which, once again, even if you're reading, you're learning from somebody else, which is why I tell you guys where I find this stuff in the books. Okay, so back to commerce. Digress, drifted off there for a moment. So it's all business, and everything that you do with any agency, bank, whatever, they always have you do what? Sign something. Okay. And you're just signing your name, and you're using your legal name. You're not autographing it with your given name, your celestial name, your divine name, your ecclesiastic name, your house, crest, nation, tribe, name. So if I put something down, I'm going to put, James C. Lovett, the name of the entity, and then I'm going to autograph it with James Cash Money of the Lovett Nation or Lovett Empire, Empire of Lovetts, whatever I want to do. That's my name. You should be pretty consistent, though, if you're going to continue to use your given name. So you're just saying that you, the living real person, are operating that thing. Now, if you are the entity by alter ego, or you feel so moved that all of the, we'll just say, legalities should be appropriately affixed to the straw man, then yeah, by all means, sign straw man name. A lot of information just happened there. So once you do, you're in a contractual obligation. If you're going to try to reserve your rights, then that you should know the code by heart, UCC 1-308. Not waiving my rights, not entering into anything that I don't know. I'm not entering into a contractual obligation. I'm not party to any adhesion contracts. I'm reserving my rights that I have before I go in to this deal. Okay. I'm not losing my constitutional rights and freedoms. Okay. I'm not swapping them for that. So I'm here to do business, but you're not going to own me. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that you do not have to abide by the rules stated, but it does mean that you still have rights and freedoms. Okay. If something is not right, you have the right to be like, yeah, that's not right. Okay. But as always, if you're seeking legal advice, like any of my videos, I am not a lawyer. Only acting as an attorney in fact for my own nation and things, and this is all education and entertainment. So you do need that for anything, as always, because like I said, we do not provide legal advice. You need to go and find a qualified, licensed person in said area. For you U.S. citizens, this channel and no information here are for U.S. citizens, only private people. Oh, so I could hear some people out there, oh, well, I'm a U.S. citizen. Well, maybe you are, but maybe you were born a private person first. Actually, you were a state citizen, national of the United States, foreign national, territorial citizen, non-citizen U.S. national, 8 U.S.C. 1401A for most of you, but some of you, you do need to go out there and read the codes and see which one applies to you. Because not one shoe doesn't fit everybody. I tried this glass slipper on once. It really hurt my feet. It's weird. Who has a glass slipper anyway? So, all right, that's it. So you have to understand, guys, it's all business. It's all business. They're here to make money. Every entity in the U.S., including the U.S., is here to make money, though they are considered the debtor. So what is it? It's a code US UCC. Can't believe I forgot the code. Hold on, let me just double check here. All right. UCC 9-307. Yeah, I was right. I thought that's what it was. I was going to guess, but interesting. So yeah, location of the debtor. A debtor is an individual, is located at an individual's primary residence. Debtor is an organization that has only one place of business is located at its place of business. So under UCC 9-307, H, location of the United States is in District of Columbia. It is the debtor. There you have it. Dissolution. Dissolution is the winding up, cancellation of an existing registered organization, or a revocation, forfeiture, lapse. A registered organization, here's a gem drop, pay attention. A registered organization that is organized under the law of a state is located in that state. So make sure that your organizations are registered. If it's registered within a state, then you are to abide by state things. If whatever it is, the entity is not registered, then, and they're doing commerce publicly, that's a problem. Because the state wants their money. And you're doing business here and you're not paying the state. Now, if you're doing it privately, then that's different. As long as you're not claiming any of their benefits or privileges, then you're good to go. But you must do it right. Okay. Now, I just seen this, so I'm going to jump in. This wasn't going to be part of the original one, but it just kind of stuck out to me. So let's take a dive into UCC 9-503. It says name of debtor and secured party. Interesting. All right, we might have to do a video just on this one by itself. Yeah, that's good information. Those playing the home, whoa. Okay. Yep, gonna have to read this some more. All right. I will leave that for another video, and that is all. All I can say is, yeah, check out 9-503, name of debtor and secured party. We will do a video on some of the information there. Otherwise, you guys are good for now, hopefully. All right. So with that being said, we are out. Don't forget to hit that yep, and yep. Thank you for watching the Badwolf. Talk to you guys later. We are out.